Hello, everyone. This is Carmen Radford welcoming you back to another episode of Calm and Chaos, the space where we discuss motherhood, well-being, and just balancing it all. We cover loads of topics, and so I hope you can find some connection here. Okay, here we go. Hi, Becca. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited you're here. I feel like your topic is so relevant to so many of us, and I already know that it's going to help so many people who are thinking about returning to work after having kids. It's such a massive decision, and I feel like, you know, for a lot of people it's not really a choice, which is already really difficult. But then also, you know, it depends on how long your leave is after you're having children, or how supportive the work environment is, and what your experience postpartum is, because you really don't know what that's going to be like too. So yeah, there's just so many factors that affect the transition going back to work. And it's truly just not an easy one.
No.
So just for some context for the listeners, can you give a little bit of insight into your work experience, maybe before having kids?
Yeah. So before having children, I'd say that I was super career focused.
Okay.
And I worked for 2 large companies in various roles, mainly in marketing. And actually, when I fell pregnant with my first child, it was a surprise.
Okay.
We planned to have children, but it happened sooner than we expected.
Right.
And I'd only just got a promotion at work as well when I fell pregnant. But you know, was really excited to have that child. I worked very long hours when I was pregnant, under a lot of pressure, because I had a new project and a tight deadline, and I was working very long days.
Right.
But I did allow my eldest was 2 weeks late, and I did allow myself some time before, so I did have quite a lot of time. It wasn't like I finished work and went into labour. I had I think at least 4 or 5 weeks to wind
That's
down.
Really good. Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did that.
Yeah.
So and I think you don't really know, like everyone probably says this as well, you don't know what you're getting yourself in for when you have a child.
No,
right?
the first
it's a
one,
shock.
absolutely.
And so I did have a time to unwind, but I was probably working too hard before as well. And had my daughter. I was fortunate to have a year off work, which was great.
Yeah.
And I did completely switch off from work. I didn't really think about work.
Awesome.
I think
good for you.
Your brain can only take in so much information, and having a baby is all consuming.
Absolutely.
So I didn't have any room, because I was learning how to be a mum. I didn't have room to even worry about work. I did.
Totally.
I met up with some friends from work, but I don't even think I went into the office with my daughter. I met them somewhere else, because I didn't actually want to do that. And also, it's not always, when people bring babies in, some people like it, some people don't. So you know,
it's not a comfortable environment necessarily.
And you don't want to be getting your boob out in front of colleagues, etc.
Not necessarily. It's not it's not necessarily the environment again.
No. So that was it was brilliant. I had I actually got married as well during maternity leave, so I planned a wedding. So that's probably why I didn't have time to think work. I had a new baby,
so much going on.
And my daughter was 8 months old when we got married, so I had a wedding to plan. And my sister got married when my daughter was 4 months old as well, abroad. So there's a lot going on in that year anyway, having thought about it now. Totally. And then started to have my manager at the time was also on maternity leave, and she went into a different role. So I had a new manager within that time that I hadn't previously worked for before. And when I did start having conversations around returning to work, it was basically, I decided that due to a number of factors, A, that I wanted to still have time with my daughter, B, the cost of nursery fees, etc., that I didn't want to go back full time. I just didn't have the mental capacity. Luckily, fortunately, that I didn't, could financially not have to go back full time, but also because of nursery fees, it just probably wouldn't make sense anyway.
Make sense. And that's what I always think too, that your mind is literally in such a different
exactly
state.
Yeah.
And I've even read that literally your cells all change. Like,
I think
you
so.
actually have a different brain after you have a kid.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think so. And like, you know, the term like baby brain, that doesn't leave you, does it? I've still got that now.
And I think that's like almost more of a scientific term.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I kind of decided that I wanted to go part-time. Other women I worked for had that opportunity, but it was a really kind of it was only at like the manager's discretion, and because I hadn't had an experience of that manager, I didn't know how those conversations were going to go. Basically, I was told that if I wanted to go back to the level that I was at, that would only be the job available. My old job would have to be full-time. So I was like, well, that's not what I want to do. But if I wanted to take a lower level, which wasn't ideal, I could go back 3 days a week. So I chose that option into an area of marketing that I'd never had experience of before. So I was learning a whole new area, but that was actually fine because it was giving me then additional, when I started back, it was giving me additional development and an area that I hadn't learned before. But it was tough going back, you know. Luckily I had grandparents help out as well, and nursery, but then you've still got that sending your child to nursery and crying a little bit, and then having to be like, but I can't just stay, I've got to go do that. And you know, even just getting ready in the morning to get to your desk on time,
it's totally different.
It was pre-COVID, so there was none of the hybrid working then. You know,
not being able to work at home
work from home, that wasn't an option, which is another reason why I wanted to only do 3 days. Because it's a lot. Although I only travelled to Milton Keynes, so it's not too far. I know some mums travel to London, etc. So it's all manageable. And I think, you know, when you've got a baby, you can't, like now I've got children who are older and they can get dressed themselves, but when you have a 1-year-old going back to work, you know, you have to. So it's tough. I've got a husband at home that he at the time had to leave the house at 6 a.m. because of where he works, so it was quite on me. But you know, he helped out as he could, but again, he wasn't doing the hybrid work from home at that stage because it was pre-COVID as well. But then once I did get back, it was a positive experience. I managed to go to the toilet without, you know, any interruptions. I had a hot cup of tea. I, had connections and adult conversations without getting interrupted. And I really enjoyed the kind of like getting back, founding almost. You probably have understand this. You kind of lose your identity a little bit when you have a child. So I was kind of a little bit bored of the just going to different. And I had the baby groups, and I had a great time on maternity leave, and I had NCT friends, and that was brilliant. But they were all starting to go back to work too, and I still knew that I had. So I used to do Monday, Tuesday at home with my daughter, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at work. So I still then only
had both.
So it was a really good. It was best of both worlds. I think being in the industry I work in and in marketing as well, like. Things move so rapidly. Had I taken a career break, I felt like I'd probably be struggling to get back into work now because things change a lot and a lot of change in the company happened at a time. So I kind of felt like I needed to keep up my career to be able to keep up.
But you sort of felt like you liked your job enough that you were sort of like, I'll put that work in there. I'll still balance it with home life.
And I think becoming a mother, you are just become super organised. I think I was quite an organised person before anyway, so we're generally, but you plan ahead, you know what meals you're going to be doing, you know because you didn't have this. I don't really, I say that, I just kind of wing it every day, but you know what I mean.
I need to have you back on and dissect a little bit of that organisational
but like, I feel like generally mums are on it because they have to be.
You have to be,
So I kind of feel like you can almost apply that to your work as well. Like I was strict with my time, and I was like, if people want, I worked with closely with marketing agencies at the time, and I'm like, these are my hours, these are what I do. If you need to send me something to approve, you need to get it to me by this time, otherwise it's not going to get done, because I will be leaving, you know, I'm not staying past 5 o'clock. I will be leaving early because I want to collect my daughter from nursery at a reasonable hour. I don't want her to be the last child there screaming. You know, so I was strict on my time.
So did you feel like in your position, like you were very comfortable making those boundaries?
I think to begin with, I was a bit hesitant, but actually I was like, no, you know, I've taken a step down for this. This is reasonable. Like, this is actually, like, work is not my priority anymore. Like, work is something that I do, and I will do it well, because that's just the kind of person I am. If you're going to do something, you may as well do it properly. But my main priority, and still to, you know, that hasn't changed, is my children, and they will become first for anything. And luckily my manager was supportive at the time. He'd recently had a child too, so he understood. And there's the whole thing, when they go to nursery they get sick quite a lot, so he was so there was I think you do feel this guilt of having to leave, oh my God, or not being there. I think COVID has helped, because being part-time, those 2 days when I wasn't in the office is noticeable, and you might miss out on conversations or things. Now, since COVID happened and there's a hybrid work, and people don't, I still work part-time now,
but online you can be included in all that. You're not missing out.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
and
interesting.
Then so that was fine, and then a few years later I had my second child. Plan this time, and and I decided that I would again want to go back part-time, maybe slightly shift my hours, because my daughter was due to start school, so to do around the school pick up for both of them as well, to manage that. But again, I did say more from the outset, this is what I want to do, and this is what, and I think by then, because I'd proven that I could do a good job, and within part-time, you know, it's maybe part-time in hours but not in output, because there's a lot of people maybe that don't work as hard and just like can take 2 hour lunch breaks and talk most of the day, you know, so like but then in my second child, I was due to go back to work after, again, fortunate to have another year off. COVID hit, and I was due to go back to work, and then it was the end of March, so then it was like no office, so then I was stuck at home, due to go back to work, 2 children, and no childcare at all.
And you had to work
at the first 2 weeks. I did go back to my previous roles, but someone had covered my maternity, but they had left the company so there'd been like a 6 months gap. So there's a lot of work that they just said, oh, Rebecca can just pick that up when she's back. So within 1 or 2 weeks, COVID hit. So you're just getting your head around like being in lockdown. I've got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. My husband was also working from home, but has a very busy, like, stressful job in finance, and
can't juggle both, when he's at home, he's in the office.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the company in a similar boat with children, and we were just kind of managing through, but I felt I was logging on in evenings, so being in the church, so it was very stressful. And then I don't know if you remember, but the government announced furlough. And my company decided to take that furlough option. And my then manager at the time kind of phoned me and said, I think that you might appreciate being put on furlough, because I can't imagine it's just really tricky with 2 young children at home trying to work. So I took that option. It was a bit of a mixed emotions, because at the time you think, well, is my job secure and being put on furlough? Is it like the start of a redundancy? No one knew, but then, you know, there's worse things going on in the world right now, so I was just pleased to have a home, have a garden, and be with my children. You know, you have to put these things in perspective, right? It's not, there was worse things. People were like losing family members. It was just like an awful time, so I was just pleased, and had that, and amazing, I had that extended time with them at home. We just had to play, you know. That was fine. And then the nurseries opened back in June, and my furlough ended, and I got asked to go back. That was quite a tough decision as well, because there's a lot of people that decided not to send they deemed nursery still being unsafe at the time, so they were like, I would no way send my child back, and I was like, well, I need to, because I kind of need to work, so I decided to do it. But it was like a real, in the nursery that my children went to, there was a real mixed bag of people being pro and against, and the nursery did an amazing job of trying to keep it as safe as possible. And I think, you know, it all then luckily it opened again. The challenge, I did have my daughter at home when it was the second lockdown, when the school shut, because she had started school by that time.
So she would have had to do all
and
her
having to homeschool and work was challenging again.
Yeah.
And I think mentally it was quite exhausting.
Totally.
But only, I think it was like, 10 weeks or something, so it was doable. And I think it makes you stronger, as a person, and being able to manage that, and you manage time effectively, pushing back to people and say, is this a priority? If not, let's just park it. Really focus on what should be
prioritized.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's such a healthy perspective that you have. It's so positive. Like, you really are trying to do your best in all these different roles, like all the different hats you wear, and then you're also looking at it like globally and keeping perspective that way. And I respect that so much.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think things got easier, like working from home was more of a thing. So then when I did go back and do now, I can work, so I can still walk to school with the children a couple of days a week. They don't always have to go to breakfast club, whereas if it was complete still in the office, they'd have to go to bed. So having that hybrid approach to working, I think, is really helpful for mothers. Even if it's the fact that I can, in between my calls in the day, I'll put a wash on. So I'm in the office, so I'm not coming back and I'm not bombarded. I will meet my friends at my lunch break for a walk or go for a run. When I'm in the office, I can't do that. I mean, I could, but it's not that. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely think that then going back after COVID has been a positive thing. And then it's not just working mums, right? It's people that just want to have a bit of more work-life balance.
Absolutely.
Some people that I work with commute quite long. So it's, it's hopefully such a terrible event, but it's something that's positive come out of it.
Yeah, I think it's so important to see silver linings. Otherwise, you'll get so bogged down. Like, it can become so negative for you. So absolutely.
And then since then, in the last 18 months, I've changed roles again, back up to the level I was before. Before I applied for the job, I said to the hiring manager at the time, these are the hours that I want to work. And I only can really apply for this job if I can apply for it based on those hours. And lucky for me, she's also a working mum. Completely understood that. She was like, of course, it was never an issue. So it just shows there's different people's perspectives around what part-time could look like in the same company with the same rules. It's just very different. And now if I stay in the company, I will still be looking to do part-time. I'll be looking for those opportunities and also supporting other people in my team that want to come back after work to be part-time, because the women that I see that are mums, either part-time, full-time, are usually working the hardest, in my opinion, because they do have other priorities and they want to get their best done, but they know how to hit a deadline. They know that they've got to leave at a certain time, and it's not just, you see more dads doing it, the school drop-offs, pickups now as well. So hopefully, and then when my children are older, I hope it is more of a norm and you don't have to go down a level to be part-time. You don't have to do that. So I guess that's one of the reasons I wanted to come on the podcast today as well. So I think had I had my time again, I would have pushed to go back on the same level before, because although your brain does to change, you're still capable of doing the same thing. Even more, I think I'm even more capable now because I'm a more mature individual, a more rounded individual. So I can give more. So I actually think I should have fought harder. I think I was just so pleased to be able to go back part-time and have that time. But actually, I should have pushed harder for my old level, because it doesn't mean you can't be a certain level because you're part-time.
Totally.
So I think in hindsight, I should have really pushed for that harder. And that's why kind of, if there's people listening to this podcast that are thinking about going for work, push for what you want, decide what you want to do based on your affordability, your childcare, all of this, and just if people say to you, oh, we don't do that, we don't do that, doesn't mean that then fair. I work now 5 days a week, but the hours spread over 4 around school office, and and our HR department, it's a big company I work for, are like, oh, we don't really have someone like that in the system. But it's like, okay, but can the system...
It can change, though.
And they're a colleague of mine did the shared parental leave, and our HR were like, oh, we don't know if we offer that here. And she was like, well, it's
then offer it.
Yeah, it's not a case of not offering it.
Yeah.
It's a case that this is the law now. You can do shared, so you need to. So it's like all these things that it needs to change, and HR within companies need to adapt and also be aware of the rules and etc., because otherwise people will leave the workforce and really strong people that they were going to lose. So I'm glad it didn't come to that for me, but I think my advice would be to be strong. Don't underestimate what you can achieve by being a mum as well, but also set boundaries, because your child has to come first, and and hopefully I mean, I know I'm fortunate that I've had these positive experiences, and not everyone it's possible for, but push for what you want.
And believe in yourself. Like, that's what I hear so much from you. It's like, and just showing everyone else to believe in themselves too, because I think when you become a mom, it's so vulnerable.
100%. You're learning things, and you're like, wow, it's like, it's life-changing, right?
It is completely life-changing, but I think you're so right. It's like, but I also think because of that vulnerability, you don't know unless you listen to like someone like you, who's actually you seem really aware of what the workplace can offer you, how it can be supported, who to go to speak to, and just having that, I don't know if it's strength, but something in you to be like, well, okay, this might feel vulnerable, but actually there might be people here in the same position. It might even be your manager that's like actually so supportive and steps in. And of course, it's so sad if that doesn't happen. If that's not your experience.
And that's what makes me sad, because I'm sure a lot of people then turn away completely or aren't doing the job that they want to do because of it, and that it's not fair, it's not right. It's not a crime to have a child.
That's
so
it.
like
I had a kid and I can't keep doing what I love or what I'm good at or what I'm willing to work really hard at.
I think in any way it makes me like better at my job, because and less stress. I see a lot of people around me really stressed, and I'm like, look, my priority is the children, so actually I'm just here just to get my work done.
I'm doing a good job.
Exactly. But I've got a bigger focus in my life, and that's makes me less like stressed and probably easier to work with.
Totally. I love that. I just feel like you've spun so many challenging things into like productive things. And that's just so, honestly, this is going to inspire so many people.
Oh, thank you. Well, I hope so.
100%. Like, I was so excited to have you on here. But, like, that's just such good perspective to have, I think, going back. Because, like, for me, I remember, like, I got pregnant. We were trying, I would say. But then it happened really quickly. And I got really, really sick in the first bit. And all this was so new to me. Like, I thought, like, okay, you could get nauseous or this or that.
Yeah.
And I was so ill. And then all of a sudden, I went to my doctor. Luckily, my doctor had been through it. And she just came back from maternity leave. And she's like, you cannot work, like, throwing up 20 times a day.
No,
I'm like, no, I'm a teacher.
I was lucky that I had easy pregnancies.
That's
awesome.
I mean, that's, like, I remember, though, thinking, I'm not even at the point where I'm ready to share this.
No, because at that beginning stage you don't want to, do you?
No. So, and all of a sudden I was like, I literally cannot go into work. I have to tell them I've taken sick leave, and I love my job. I loved it so much.
And then you feel like you're letting people down. And
totally. Oh my gosh! Like all these kids, I was teaching 15 different classes a week, music, and I had to step out, and then I remember thinking, well, I have to tell them, because even though it's so uncomfortable, it's so vulnerable, and I had walked into this job after working so hard, and I just remember thinking, that's such a huge, like, decision, and it's so much emotion, just like sharing that news when it's so brand new to you too.
And you're just getting your head around it as well, and then you're worrying like, what about from work, and then this, and how I'm gonna it's so much to go through, isn't it?
So much, but luckily they were really supportive. And then once I was over I was sick for my first trimester, and then I was able to go back into my role and start everything again. But it's so hard. It really is so hard. And so I think, but of course, like once I went back in and I was sharing it with my colleagues, they were so supportive. They were so kind.
Yeah.
They shared all their experiences and wisdom with me. And I carried so much of that going forward. So that's what I feel like people are going to take from you too. So.
Yeah, I hope so. And, I think all we can do is just support each other. And, you know, I support anyone in my team at work that are going through any, you know, it doesn't have to be you know, mother related or pregnancy related. I think it's just like everyone's human beings at the end of the day, and we're not I think robots, that you get the most out of people if you actually know a bit about them and are kind, and even if it's like what you're having for dinner tonight kind of thing. So I think it's the connection. Yeah, exactly.
And not feeling like you're isolated or alone, or like something you say is just going to be squashed. Actually, no, we have so much more as a human. Like, that's it. Like, just treat each other with that kindness and respect that just everyone should get. Like, it's so 100%. Wild. Yeah. Like, just because you're in a certain company doesn't mean, like, or you're lower or higher. Like, what? Yeah. Like, that doesn't matter at the end of the day. Yeah.
I agree.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I've loved this, Becca. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to like draw a whole bunch of these points, and I'm gonna have to like I'm gonna post all these lovely points on Instagram. Just thank you so much. This has been amazing. I hope you come back on.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
If you have any questions about the topics we covered here today, or if you have a story you'd like to share, just email me at calmandchaospodcast@gmail.com. And remember, all emails are kept anonymous, so please make your stories as anonymous as possible, as well, leaving out names, ages, locations, and any other personal details. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Calm and Chaos Podcast for resources mentioned in the episode. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.